Imagine for a moment that every time you look in the mirror, you don't just see your reflection, you see your future. Most people glance quickly, fixing hair, adjusting clothes, moving on. But what if that simple moment in front of the mirror became the most powerful ritual of your life? What if your appearance, your posture, your energy became the compass that guides how the world responds to you, and more importantly, how you respond to yourself? Your appearance is not vanity. It is communication. The way you stand, the light in your eyes, the care you take in presenting yourself tells the story of your discipline, your self-respect, and your vision. People may never hear your thoughts, but they see you before they listen to a single word. And in that instant, they decide, can I trust this person? Can I follow this person? Does this person believe in themselves? That is why you must become addicted to your appearance, not in the shallow sense, but in the sense of commitment, of constant refinement, of showing up every single day as if you are already the version of yourself you dream of becoming. Think of an athlete preparing for competition. Before they step onto the field, they adjust their jersey, lace their shoes perfectly, check every detail. It's not about fashion, it's about psychology. They know that small rituals create big confidence. In the same way, you have to create the habit of becoming your best visual representation, even when no one is watching. Wake up and choose clothes that make you feel like the world's opportunities belong to you. Stand with your shoulders back as though you are carrying victory on your spine. Smile as if you already know the outcome is in your favor. Because here is the truth. When you look like you respect yourself, your mind follows. When your mind follows, your actions transform. There is a story of a man who worked in a warehouse, invisible to most people, tired of being overlooked. He decided one day to wear a pressed shirt and polished shoes to work, even though the job didn't require it. At first people laughed, but something shifted. His managers began noticing his attention to detail. His own energy grew. Within a year, he wasn't just working in that warehouse, he was managing it. What changed? Not the warehouse, not the managers, not the pay. What changed was the image he created of himself and the discipline he fed every morning. Your appearance is like the cover of a book. People say, don't judge a book by its cover, but we all know covers sell. You are writing a story every day, and your appearance is the invitation to open the first page. Make it irresistible. Make it magnetic. One of the wisest sayings declares, dress for the job you want, not the job you have, but it goes deeper. Dress, act, move, and shine like the life you are creating, not just the one you're living. If you see yourself as a leader, show up as a leader. If you see yourself as abundant, carry yourself with abundance. If you see yourself as disciplined, let your body language prove it before your words ever do. Remember this, when you walk into a room, you're not only introducing yourself to others, you're also reintroducing yourself to your own destiny. Every detail, every choice, every reflection is a reminder that you are in control of your narrative. The mirror does not lie. It reflects your preparation, your choices, and your commitment to yourself. So become addicted, not to vanity, not to ego, but to excellence. Become addicted to showing up as the best possible version of yourself until one day people say, there is something different about you. And you will smile because you know that difference is not luck. It is not chance. It is the discipline of self-respect repeated every single day. Your appearance is not the end goal, it is the door. And once you step through that door, with confidence, the world will open possibilities you never imagined. Treat that mirror not as glass, but as a window into the life you are building. And each time you see your reflection, remind yourself, this is not who I was, this is who I am becoming. When we talk about appearance, most people immediately think of fashion, makeup, or surface-level beauty. They think it is about vanity, about trying to impress others with clothes, accessories, or trends. But the truth is deeper. Appearance is not vanity. It is communication. Every time you step into the world, before a word escapes your mouth, before a thought is shared, before a handshake is offered, you are already speaking. You are communicating through your posture, your grooming, your facial expressions, your style, your energy. It is silent language, yet it shouts louder than words. The moment someone lays eyes on you, they form a story. Not because they are shallow, but because human beings are wired to make judgments quickly for survival, for safety, for opportunity. Appearance is your first message, your first impression, and often the foundation upon which all other interactions are built. Think of it this way: when a book sits on a shelf, people have thousands of choices. They cannot read all of them, so they look at the cover. A strong cover captures attention, makes someone curious to turn the first page. Your appearance is your cover. It invites people to learn more, to ask questions, to engage with you. Without it, the book might still be brilliant, but it may never be opened. This is not unfair. It is simply how perception works. That is why appearance is not about ego. It is about sending the right message. Consider posture alone. If you enter a room with slouched shoulders, eyes downcast, slow shuffling steps, you communicate low energy, low confidence, even before you sit or speak. Now imagine entering the same room with your shoulders back, chin level, eyes engaged, steps steady. The difference in energy is instant. People read your body like a page. They do not consciously analyze every detail, but their subconscious collects the signals and interprets them. You are either someone to notice, someone to trust, someone to follow, or someone to overlook. This is why leaders, athletes, performers, and professionals across every field pay close attention to how they show up. They know that appearance is not decoration, it is declaration. There is a powerful example in the world of business. A young entrepreneur once entered a pitch meeting with investors. His idea was brilliant, his numbers solid, but he arrived disheveled, shirt wrinkled, shoes dusty. He thought his idea alone would speak. The investors listened politely but passed. Later, another entrepreneur came with a similar idea, not necessarily better, but he showed up sharp, confident, organized. His appearance communicated discipline, attention to detail, respect for himself and others. He got the funding. It wasn't about the suit, it was about the signal. The first entrepreneur's appearance told the investors, if he can't manage himself, how will he manage millions? The second one communicated, if he takes this much care with himself, he will take care with the business. This is the power of appearance as communication. The same applies in personal relationships. When you dress with care, groom with attention, and carry yourself with pride, you are telling the people around you that you value the interaction. Imagine going on a first date. If one person shows up well presented, smelling fresh, clothes chosen thoughtfully, they communicate respect. Respect for themselves and for the other person's time. If the other arrives careless, unkempt, wearing whatever was at hand, the message is also clear. This is not important enough to prepare for. Words cannot undo that first message. Appearance speaks louder. But communication is not limited to clothes or grooming. It extends to the smallest details, your handshake, your eye contact, the way you listen, the way you enter a space. These are all appearances in motion. They are the living symbols of your attitude. A firm handshake communicates confidence and presence. Steady eye contact communicates honesty and engagement. A smile communicates warmth and openness. Silence communicates respect when used wisely. All of these are forms of appearance, forms of unspoken dialogue that shape the way others interpret you. Metaphorically, think of appearance as the frame of a painting. The frame does not change the art itself, but it changes the way the art is perceived. A beautiful painting in a broken, dusty frame is often ignored. That same painting in a polished, carefully chosen frame invites admiration. Your skills, knowledge, and personality are the painting. Your appearance is the frame. When you respect both, the world respects you back. There is another layer to this idea. Appearance is not only communication with others, it is communication with yourself. The way you present yourself each day sends a message to your own mind. When you take time to stand tall, choose clothes that uplift you, maintain cleanliness, and present yourself with pride, you are telling yourself, I am worthy, I am disciplined, I am prepared. Your self-image rises with your external image. That is why people who dress up, even when working from home, often report higher productivity and better mood. They are not dressing for others. They are dressing for their own psychology. They are communicating with their own subconscious mind. There's a saying, often repeated, when you look good, you feel good, and when you feel good, you do good. This is not superficial, it is science. Psychologists call it enclothed cognition. Studies show that what you wear influences how you think, how you perform, and how confident you feel. When doctors wear lab coats, they perform with greater attention to detail. When athletes wear their uniforms, they step into a mindset of focus and competition. When you present yourself intentionally, you step into the identity you are building. This is appearance as communication on the deepest level, shaping not just how the world sees you, but how you see yourself. Now imagine this applied daily. Every morning becomes an opportunity to declare your message. If you prepare with intention, your appearance says, I am serious, I am ready, I am moving forward. If you neglect it, your appearance says, I am uncertain, I do not value this moment, I am stuck. People around you may never articulate these messages, but they feel them, they respond to them. Opportunities open or close, trust grows or shrinks, influence expands or contracts, all because of appearance. History shows us countless figures who understood this truth. Leaders often adopted uniforms or styles that became symbols of authority. From the clean suits of statesmen to the iconic attire of innovators, appearance was part of their identity. It communicated stability, vision, courage, or creativity. People followed not only their words but also the image they projected. And even today, in a world that values authenticity, appearance remains crucial, not because you have to be someone you're not, but because you must show the best version of who you truly are. Think of a garden. The flowers may be beautiful by nature, but if the soil is messy, the weeds overgrown, the beauty is hidden. Tending to appearance is like tending to that garden. It reveals what is already inside. It communicates care, attention, and growth. Without it, even the brightest qualities can remain unseen. Appearance as communication is not about perfection, not about chasing trends or impressing strangers. It is about clarity. It is about sending the right message in every moment, that you respect yourself, that you are present, that you are committed to the life you are building. Every choice in how you present yourself is a sentence in the silent speech you give the world each day. And the world listens. Daily rituals of presentation build confidence and discipline in ways most people underestimate. Every morning you face choices that seem small. Whether to make your bed, whether to iron your shirt, whether to stand tall when you leave your home, whether to smile when you greet others. Most overlook these choices as unimportant, but they are not small. They are rituals, signals, and training sessions for the mind. Each decision you make about how you present yourself is a brick in the foundation of your confidence and discipline. Over time, those bricks form the walls of your character, strong enough to withstand challenges, criticism, and doubt. Confidence is not something you either have or don't have. It is cultivated, reinforced, and expanded through consistent practice. Discipline is not about punishing yourself or living under strict rules. It is about creating rituals that remind you of who you are becoming. Daily presentation rituals are one of the simplest yet most powerful ways to achieve both. When you take 5 extra minutes to straighten your clothes, polish your shoes, fix your hair, or adjust your posture, you are not just preparing for the world, you are training your mind to believe you matter, that your time matters, and that your role in life matters. Think of soldiers preparing in the morning. Every detail is inspected, from the shine of their boots to the sharpness of their uniforms. This is not just for appearances. It builds mental toughness, pride, and readiness. The ritual itself conditions the soldier's mind. If I can master the little details, I can handle the big battles. In civilian life, we may not polish boots for inspection, but the principle is identical. The way you care for your presentation each day teaches your brain that you are disciplined, that you take ownership, and that you are capable of excellence in larger arenas. Consider also athletes before a competition. They do not walk into the arena unprepared. They have pre-game rituals, specific routines, stretches, visualizations, clothing choices. These are not accidents. Rituals bring order to chaos. They transform nerves into focus, uncertainty into readiness. Daily presentation rituals are your pre-game warm-up for life. Whether it is adjusting your tie before a meeting, repeating affirmations in the mirror, or simply carrying yourself with confidence as you step outside, you are telling yourself, I am ready for this game and I will give it everything. Confidence grows in environments where rituals are respected. For example, a student preparing for an exam who chooses to dress neatly and sit with good posture often performs better than the one who shows up sloppy and distracted. Why? Because their external preparation communicates to their inner world. I am serious, I am focused, I belong here. The ritual creates the state of mind. The act of preparation influences performance in psychology. This is known as priming. You prime your brain to act confidently by first acting as though you already are confident. The ritual becomes the spark that ignites the fire. Discipline, on the other hand, is about consistency. It is not enough to present yourself well once or twice. The real transformation comes when you repeat it every single day until it becomes part of who you are. Brushing your teeth, exercising, eating mindfully, these are daily rituals of care. The same applies to how you prepare your appearance and energy. The discipline of maintaining standards trains your mind to push past laziness and excuses. It tells your subconscious that you follow through, that you keep promises to yourself, that you live with intention. Over time, this discipline spills into every area of your life, your work, your relationships, your goals. It all begins with the seemingly simple rituals of presentation. A powerful metaphor is the polishing of a diamond. A raw diamond looks ordinary, but with consistent polishing, its brilliance shines. Each day you perform your rituals of presentation, you are polishing yourself. The shine is not vanity, it is evidence of discipline. Confidence is the sparkle that emerges, and discipline is the hand that polishes daily, never skipping, never neglecting. Without discipline, the diamond remains hidden. With discipline, it becomes valuable. Real-life examples show this clearly. There was a man who struggled for years with self-esteem. He felt invisible, overlooked, and small. One day, after listening to advice about rituals, he decided to start with something simple, dressing neatly each morning, no matter how he felt. At first it felt meaningless, but as days became weeks, he noticed his posture improving. He began walking taller. Colleagues at work noticed the change, offering compliments. His small ritual of presentation gave him feedback from the world, which fed his confidence. That confidence encouraged him to take on bigger challenges, to speak up in meetings, to apply for promotions. Eventually, his entire life shifted. It began with the ritual of presentation. There is also the story of a woman who wanted to lose weight and improve her health. She struggled with discipline in exercise and diet. Instead of forcing herself into extreme routines, she began with a ritual. Each morning she laid out her workout clothes, neatly folded, ready to wear. She told herself, if I can prepare these clothes, I can prepare my body. Slowly, she built momentum. The act of preparing her appearance each morning created the discipline to exercise. That discipline built confidence. Over time, she transformed, not just physically, but mentally. Her daily rituals became her anchor. Rituals of presentation are powerful because they are controllable. Life throws unpredictable storms, but how you prepare yourself each morning is always within your control. By focusing on the controllable, you develop resilience. You may not control outcomes, but you can control your rituals. You can control your grooming, your clothes, your smile, your posture, your preparation. And this control builds discipline, which then creates the confidence to handle what you cannot control. Another metaphor is sharpening a sword. A warrior does not wait until the battle to sharpen their blade. They sharpen daily in small rituals, so that when the battle comes, they are ready. You are that warrior, and your rituals of presentation are the sharpening of your blade. Every morning you polish, straighten, adjust, prepare. When challenges appear, you are already sharp, already confident, already disciplined. The ritual made you ready before the test arrived. There is a quote that says, "How you do anything is how you do everything." If you neglect the small rituals of presentation, you train your mind to neglect bigger responsibilities. If you honor those rituals, you train your mind to honor your commitments everywhere else. The small reflects the large. The habit of making your bed is not about the bed, it is about showing your brain that you finish what you start. The habit of dressing well is not about clothing, it is about showing your brain that you respect the moment. These habits accumulate into a life of confidence and discipline. Daily rituals of presentation also create momentum. Confidence is not built in one leap. It is built brick by brick. When you repeatedly honor your rituals, your mind says, "I can trust myself." That trust is confidence. And discipline is the consistent act of showing up, no matter how you feel. Together, they form an unstoppable partnership. One feeds the other. Discipline builds confidence. Confidence makes discipline easier. The cycle continues upward, and it all begins with the rituals you choose each day. Imagine yourself a year from now. If you commit to these rituals, each day you wake up, you prepare your appearance with intention. You stand taller, you look sharper, you feel stronger. People respond differently to you. You carry yourself with pride. That energy spills into your work, your relationships, your dreams. Your confidence has grown because your discipline built it, and your discipline is stronger because your confidence fuels it. The cycle repeats, expanding, elevating, transforming you. It all started with daily rituals of presentation. Your image shapes how others treat you and how you treat yourself. The world reflects back to you what you project outward. And often without realizing it, people decide how to interact with you based on the signals you send through your appearance, your posture, and your energy. If you look confident, if you present yourself with care, people tend to give you respect, trust, and opportunities. If you look careless, uncertain, or invisible, people respond in kind, often overlooking your true potential. What you put forward becomes the lens through which others see you, and that same lens eventually becomes the way you begin to see yourself. Consider how people react differently to two individuals walking into the same room. One is well-dressed, standing tall, making eye contact, carrying an energy of self-assurance. The other is slouched, poorly presented, and hesitant. Before either says a word, assumptions are made. The confident one is perceived as capable, reliable, even trustworthy. The hesitant one may be doubted, underestimated, or ignored. This is not about fairness, it is about human psychology. We are wired to judge quickly, and appearance plays the largest role in those first judgments. Your image becomes your introduction, your handshake before your hand is extended, your first impression before you open your mouth. Now think about how this affects daily life. A job interview, for example, is not only about skills and experience. The interviewer is looking for someone who represents the company well, someone they can trust with clients, with projects, with responsibilities. Your image communicates whether you take yourself seriously enough to be taken seriously by others. If you walk in polished and prepared, your appearance says you are disciplined, reliable, and intentional. If you walk in careless, your appearance whispers doubt, and that doubt echoes in the mind of the decision maker. Opportunities are won or lost in those moments where image speaks louder than resumes. But it goes beyond professional settings. Even in everyday life, how you treat yourself on the outside influences how people treat you on the inside. Imagine sitting in a cafe and two people approach to strike up a conversation. One is visibly put together, carrying an aura of pride and confidence. The other is disheveled, projecting insecurity. Without thinking, most people feel drawn toward the one who projects care and confidence. It is not about clothing brands or beauty standards. It is about energy, about the message your image sends without words. The world mirrors that message back to you. The way others treat you also reinforces your own self-image. When you present yourself with care and confidence, people treat you as valuable. Over time, this external validation feeds your inner belief. You begin to see yourself the way others see you. The opposite is also true. If you neglect your image, if you allow yourself to appear unprepared or invisible, others may treat you as though you are unimportant, and slowly you begin to believe it. This creates a cycle. Your image shapes treatment, treatment shapes belief, belief shapes behavior, and behavior shapes your future. The cycle can pull you down or lift you up, depending on the message your image sends. There is a story of a young man who worked in a large corporate office. He was intelligent, hardworking, and skilled, but he never paid attention to his presentation. He wore wrinkled shirts, avoided eye contact, and carried himself like he wanted to disappear. He wondered why he was constantly overlooked for promotions. One day, a mentor pulled him aside and told him, "You have the brains, but your image doesn't show leadership. People can't see the leader inside you because you don't show it outside." The young man decided to change. He invested in a few good suits, practiced his posture, and began speaking with more confidence. Within months, his colleagues began treating him differently. He was included in meetings, given more responsibilities, and eventually promoted. His skills were the same, but his image unlocked the recognition he deserved. Your image is like a mirror you carry into the world. It reflects what you believe about yourself, and it also reflects what others believe about you. If you present yourself as though you are worthy, people respond as though you are worthy. If you present yourself as though you don't matter, people respond as though you don't matter. The mirror works both ways, outward and inward. That is why it is essential to take control of it, to be intentional about the message you send with your appearance. There is also a deeper layer. Your image influences how you treat yourself in private moments. When you take care of your grooming, your clothing, your posture, you are sending a message to yourself that you are valuable. When you let yourself go, when you neglect the basics of appearance, you silently tell yourself that you don't deserve the effort. Over time, these small signals build your self-respect, or they erode it. A polished appearance can become a ritual of self-love, a daily reminder that you are worth the investment. Think about a professional athlete again. They do not wear their uniform just for others. They wear it because it transforms how they feel about themselves. Putting on that uniform reminds them they are champions, that they belong in the arena, that they are prepared for the challenge. In the same way, your daily choices about your image are like putting on your uniform for life. They remind you that you are here to compete, to contribute, to win. They remind you that you belong. Metaphorically, your image is the frame around the portrait of your life. A beautiful painting with a broken frame looks neglected, undervalued. The same painting in a polished frame looks priceless. People treat the frame painting with more respect even though the art is unchanged. You are the art. Your image is the frame. How others treat the frame is how they will treat the art, and eventually how you will treat yourself. There is also research that supports this truth. Psychologists have found that when people dress professionally, they are perceived as more competent, intelligent, and trustworthy, regardless of their actual abilities. This perception influences opportunities, negotiations, and relationships. It also influences the person themselves. Wearing clothing associated with confidence and professionalism actually makes people act more confidently and think more clearly. The outside shapes the inside, and the inside reinforces the outside. The cycle can be seen everywhere. A person who presents themselves with care receives more respect from strangers. That respect boosts their confidence. With more confidence, they take bolder actions. Those actions bring results which reinforce the image of success. Another person who neglects their image is treated with indifference. That indifference lowers their confidence. With less confidence, they shrink from opportunities. Their lack of action brings fewer results, reinforcing the image of insignificance. Both started with how they chose to present themselves. Your image also communicates standards. When you hold yourself to a standard of excellence in appearance, others know you likely hold yourself to the same standard in work, relationships, and life. People trust those who demonstrate discipline in the small things. If you show up sharp and composed, you communicate reliability. If you show up careless, you communicate unpredictability. Standards are contagious. The way you treat yourself teaches others how to treat you. A powerful quote captures this truth. We teach people how to treat us by what we allow, what we stop, and what we reinforce. Your image is one of the strongest teachers in that equation. It sets the tone for how others approach you. If you look like you respect yourself, people are far more likely to respect you. If you look like you don't value yourself, people are far more likely to overlook or underestimate you. And once again, how they treat you circles back into how you feel about yourself. When you begin to control this cycle intentionally, everything shifts. By consciously shaping your image, you influence not only the way others respond, but also the way you respond to yourself. You build respect externally and internally. You create a new narrative of worth, discipline, and confidence. You step into the role of leader in your own life simply because you chose to present yourself as one, and from that choice, everything else follows. The mirror is not just reflection, it is preparation for your destiny. Each time you stand in front of it, you are not simply seeing your current state, you are rehearsing for the person you are becoming. Most people glance at their reflection without thought, as if it were only glass, but those who understand its power know it is a training ground. The mirror gives you the chance to adjust not only your appearance, but your mindset. It shows you the posture you are holding, the confidence in your eyes, the care in your presentation. It reveals whether you are ready to face the world or whether you are hiding from it. Great performers understand this instinctively. Actors rehearse in front of mirrors to embody the role they must play. Athletes visualize victory as they prepare, watching their form, their stance, their energy. Leaders practice speeches in front of mirrors, not because they doubt themselves, but because they want their message to match the image they project. The mirror is where alignment begins between who you are and who you must become. Think of it as a daily checkpoint. When you look in the mirror, you are asking yourself, am I showing up as the version of me that deserves success? Am I presenting myself with the strength, the focus, and the energy that my future requires? If the answer is no, the mirror gives you a chance to make corrections. Straighten your back, lift your chin, remind yourself through your reflection that you are not defined by yesterday, you are preparing for tomorrow. The mirror is also a reminder that appearances are choices. You cannot control every circumstance, but you can control how you show up to meet them. Even in moments of doubt, fatigue, or fear, you can look into that reflection and decide to present power, decide to present resilience, decide to present belief in yourself. The person staring back at you is both the product of your past and the architect of your future. When you see that clearly, the mirror stops being ordinary glass and becomes a window to your destiny, showing you not only who you are, but who you are willing to become through discipline and preparation.